Everything was shattered. I closed my heart off to the world, to people. This is a collection of my human experience, to be raw and real amidst suffering, and to remain raw and real in the healing. My name is Katherine. I'm from Denver. I feel like God has pursued me from a really young age. I've always just been very spiritual. I started going to Mass by myself, just to get out of the house, to get, an hour of peace. It was there that I really fell in love with the Eucharist. I met Courtney my freshman year of high school, and very quickly we became, inseparable. And her family was my family, and my family was hers. Our souls connected on such a deep level. In high school, when I would go to Mass by myself, she would come with me, and I think for a while there she didn't take her faith super seriously, and I was always just urging her and pushing her in different ways. She went to Seek. She texted me while she was there, and she was like, I don't know what's happening to me. I just want to pray all the time. I feel like I'm becoming you. It was so crazy to see this thing that I had been planting and pushing for and praying for so long. She said she had never felt closer to God. I woke up the next morning. I had calls from my family, her family, my friends. Courtney was the only person that I didn't see who had called me, and she would normally be the first person. I called my friend back, and she was crying and said Courtney got into an accident. My friend, through her tears, was just like, she's not okay. That's all she said. And it just takes me right back there every time. Yeah. Everything was shattered. After Courtney's accident, I closed my heart off to the world, to people, and it probably lasted a good chunk of the rest of the year. I felt like I almost left my body, I couldn't be present to it. It was so painful. When she passed away, I almost didn't know who I was because she was so much a part of me. And this past year, I wrote a book about it. I will make purpose of suffering. I will share it, speak it, write it, if only to touch one other human life for the better. The title of my book is High Tides and Open Hands, and high tides represents the most raw and difficult moments of our life. If you've ever been in the ocean, you've ever been surfing, you understand what it's like when a wave comes and you're underwater and pushed around and don't know which way is up and down. Open hands being surrender in those moments. Surrender has just been a really big theme of my spiritual life, because it gets to a point where whether I understand it or not, whether I'm angry or not, I can just open my hands and let go of that control and know that I can trust that God knows what He's doing even if I don't. I've kind of opened my heart back up to people again, to God again, to life again. The deeper suffering, the deeper desperation I had, I also experienced a deeper surrender and a deeper faith. After everything I've been through, I realized it is worth it to love, even if you lose. Amidst the waves of life, one of the most powerful forces on earth, we must learn to open our hands and surrender to God, and to remain open through it all, even in our breaking.
The problem of suffering is a difficult problem to deal with, because once we realize that God suffers as well, that doesn't change the fact that it doesn't answer why we suffer. I think the only real answer for the Christian is the answer that Katherine found, that we can never know why we suffer. All we can do is kind of surrender to the suffering. Surrender to God who allows the suffering. Surrender to God who suffered Himself. And in that surrendering, we find freedom. We find freedom from, as Katherine described, being broken closed to being broken open. Recognizing that we may not know why we suffer, but recognizing that we can surrender to a God who has suffered along with us, in the end gives us hope. and hope is what allows us to move forward.